There we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So let me show you what I'm doing here, guys. Last night took my daughter and her boyfriend and her other friend to go to the movies, and I went and checked out the flying field, guys. And it's good enough to. It is going to be good enough to fly. I'll make it good enough to fly, but we're definitely going to be taking the L39 out, and I just spent a bit of time getting the F15. Got some expo put in, a couple of rates. Air brake's working, got the 8-channel receiver in it, got the air brake working, everything's functioning on it perfectly. The receiver that came out of the F15 was actually a 6-channel receiver, and we're actually going to run in here to the RC room and grab it, because it's going to go in the Focke-Wulf. So yeah, guys, really freaking excited. It's really nice out. There's like no wind, and I don't care even if there is wind. I've waited all fucking winter to get out. Oh man, I gotta stop using the F word like that. I keep forgetting that there's kids watching the show. In my defense, that will be the worst of it. Just an occasional F-bomb dropped in excitement. Roy, that P-47 that you bought from me, man, that thing, it looks like a totally different plane, man. That yellow, I mean, I didn't realize how horrendous it actually looked until you got rid of all that yellow, repainted it, and put the invasion stripes on it. Did a really good job on that, man. What silver paint did you use? That's actually a good question for me. What silver paint were you using on those wings? Because that stuff, it looks like factory. However you did it, it looks factory. But yeah, guys, just a really quick video from the Mobius camera, because my phone, I forgot to put it on the charger, so it didn't charge at all last night. So it's going to sit there and charge for a while before we go. So I got the Mobius camera fired up doing this video real quick. So yeah, we're taking the Focke-Wulf, we're taking the L39, and we're taking the F15. We're taking both radios. I have to take the 6-channel, and I have the 8-channel right here charging up as well, because I have to use the 8-channel radio for the F15. Technically, I actually don't, but if I want the option for the air brake, I have to have at least 7 channels for the F15, and it just so happens that I bought a Tactic 850. Now, what's cool about this Tactic 850 is they don't sell them anymore. They don't, or I don't think they're producing them anymore. I went online and I saw one. There was one online for sale. None new. Absolutely zero brand new. And one guy had one, brand new condition, stowed away, and I bought it. I had to have 8 channels, at least 8 channels for the F14, so I bought it specifically just to fly the F14. Now I'm going to be using it for the F15 and the Raptor. I have a lot of people, Eddie especially, he's our flying instructor at the AMA field that I go to. He is strongly encouraging me to change my radio system. And I get what he means. I understand exactly what he means. My problem is I should have started with DX radios from the very start. The problem is when I picked up this hobby, I watched a couple of videos, ordered a few planes, bought the cheapest radio that I could possibly get, which was a Tactic 404. It's actually a a, 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 radio, kind of similar to this one, except it doesn't have a display screen. You can't store models in it. You have to do weird stick things and turn the radio off and on to get ailerons to flip backwards and forwards, and you can't put expo in. And I just got so used to seeing the tactic in my hand that I stepped up to a 6-channel tactic, which is sitting over there. And then I liked that 6-channel tactic so much, I was like, well, if I can get my hands on an 8-channel tactic, which is, they're pretty much a dinosaur now, not unless they started remaking them, which I don't think they did. I know that they made a new 650. It's like the 660, I think they call it. But I don't think that they're making any more of these 8-channel tactics. It's actually a really decent radio. One thing that I can say about tactic radios is that they're super, 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 super simple to use. I mean, super, like ridiculously simple to use. So that's a big, huge plus with me, because I had no idea what anything meant or how to do anything inside of a radio. And then I started getting planes that had flaps. It needed 5 channels and 6 channels to work retracts. And I had to dive further into the radio system to figure out how to get those things to function, and how to get them trimmed in, and how to get them, with expo and da-da-da-da-da. So I guess my issue with it is, Eddie, is that I don't want to start learning a whole new radio system all over again, at least for right now. I think I'm going to use these tactic radios through this summer, and then I'll look into getting a DX9. I might actually even go the distance and get like a DX12 or something, and just shovel out the cash. Another problem, Eddie, is that every one of my planes that I have, they all have tactic receivers in them. I mean, I probably have, well over $500-600 just in receivers that would all have to be replaced with Spectrum or whatever else you could use with Spectrum radio. So it's kind of a hard move for me right now. Not as much hard as it would be kind of pricey. And these tactic radios that I have, they work absolutely amazing. They're super comfortable in my hands. Like I said, I've gotten used to them. I wish somebody, was more around me that was more knowledgeable back when I first started flying planes. That they could have told me, Dave, get a DX9 or get a DX12. Don't spend your money on a tactic, because you're just going to end up having to get, a 12-channel radio sometime down the road anyways. So I didn't have that. All I had was myself. And when I went to Ray and Robin's Hobby, the first radio that they sold me was a tactic. So I was like, oh, I guess tactic radios are okay then. So I stuck with the tactics. I had no idea about the DX or, until well after I had already had X amount of dollars invested into these radios. But I tell you what, man, this Tactic 850, this is a super nice radio. It is really nice. The thing that I like about it the most is it's got the dip switches on the back here, and you can program your flaps to those, and that way you don't have a position of flaps. You don't have 2 settings or 3 settings of flaps or whatever. Wherever you roll your finger on that roll dial or on that trigger back there is how much flap you get. That's exactly how I have it set up on my Giant Scale Hanger 9 P51. If I go max on the trigger, oh jeez, there I go again. On the trigger, I get max flap. If I go just a little bit, I get a little bit of flap. If I go halfway, I get half flap. If I go a quarter of the way, I get quarter flap. And I tell you what, man, I absolutely love using my flaps that way. But the only time I can use my flaps that way is if I use this Tactic 850 8-channel radio. This 650 doesn't have those dip switches on the back. So yeah, guys, the F-15's ready to go. I don't have any. I have one rate put in, but I have it super tamed down with Expo. And if that's too much and it's not giving me the response that I need or want, then I have a whole nother setting with just minimal expo, like 20 or 30% expo all the way around. The L39, you guys already know, it is ready to go. It is dialed in. I do have to do a little bit of tweaking on the elevator. It's kind of twitchy. The elevator is a bit twitchy. But the roll rate on this thing is perfect. It's exactly where I want it to be. So that's it, guys. Really quick video letting you guys know what I'm doing. I'm going to go in there and get Kyle up after I get everything situated here. My phone's got to charge a little bit longer. I got to charge the radios up a bit and put this Mobius camera back up to charge because I'm going to be filming from my hat. I have one more 6S battery to charge, and both my 4S batteries are all ready to go for the Focke-Wulf. So all I have to do now is just put that receiver in that Focke-Wulf, hook it up, turn it on, and she's good to go. Oh yeah, that's right. Hannah was taking it out of the truck, and when she was bringing it out of the truck, she hit my back rudder here and knocked the come on, it's still, see, it's still not dry. That's freaking crazy, man. I just don't understand it. Why is it taking so long to dry? Freaking shit, man. I always tell everyone in the house, you know, don't take a risk and touch any of the planes. Not that this Dynam plane is anything special, but don't take a risk of moving the plane if you're not going to be 100% careful with it. Just let me know and I'll take care of it. If I break it, it's no big deal. If you break it, you're buying me a new one. No, I'm just kidding. But I would rather be the one to damage it if it gets damaged, you know? Like, it's no big deal. All it did was just knock the hinge loose inside. So basically you just got to glue it back in. But every time Hannah or one of the kids touches one of my planes or moves one of my planes or does something that has to do with one of my planes or my batteries or my radio, something gets messed up. So we all have an agreement to not touch the planes. I don't touch Kyle's drone. I don't touch Hannah's stuff. She doesn't touch my stuff. If I move this plane and I break it, that's my bad. If I move this plane, that plane, if I move anything and I break it, that's my bad. So, it's like my old man used to say. Pretty smart guy, actually. College graduate, Master Chief in the Navy. Graduated with honors, top of his class. To avoid a situation, guys, don't put yourself in one. I've lived by that my whole life. If you want to avoid something and you don't want to be a part of something, or you don't want to regret making a move, you want to avoid that situation, don't be a part of it. Stay the hell out of it. Leave it alone. But anyways, she was moving it out of the back of the truck. She was just trying to do me a favor, and she whacked this off of the trunk, and like I said, it got snagged right here and it pulled the hinges out. So we're basically just gluing those hinges back in. That's it, guys. Everything else is ready to go. I got my 4S batteries ready. 6S batteries are almost done. This will be the first flight on the L39 since we put the new livery on it, since we put the Top Gun livery on it. And this is definitely going to be the first flight for the F-15. Cannot wait. Super excited. Time to rock and roll. I've been waiting too gosh darn long, all winter long. And there's enough of that field exposed so that we can go get some flights in, guys. I'm Dave, Dave's RC. Peace.